cursed. Cursed. We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review over on your favorite podcast app or become a patron, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. So this week, I'm going to dive into another sequel. Last week I did The Strangers Chapter 2. I thought, why not? Let's do another number 2. So we're going to talk Black Phone 2 that just came out in theaters a few weeks ago and is now available to rent and purchase digitally. I absolutely loved the first Black Phone, so I was excited to see what they did with this one. I didn't watch too many. I think I watched the teaser trailer, and that's about it. Like, I didn't know really much of the story for this one going in, and we'll dive into that in just a second. Before we do, I just want to say, if you're in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. So thankful to be partnered with the Esquire Theater to be able to screen a horror movie once a month. Our screening for November, on November 21st, we're going to be celebrating the 40th anniversary of Fright Night. Look forward to seeing this one in the theater. It should be a good time. We have a special edition to our screening of Fright Night. I know some young local filmmakers who made a vampire short film called Dracula, and we will be premiering it in front of Fright Night that same evening. It is a fun little short film. I think everybody is going to enjoy it. But come out November 21st at 10 p.m. and let's watch a movie together. Time to pick up the phone and let's talk Black Phone 2.
Hell is different than you think. They take the best parts of you, the human parts, and leave only the worst bits, only the sins. I am a bottomless pit of sin.
As Finn, now 17, struggles with life after his captivity, his sister begins receiving calls in her dreams from the Black Phone and seeing disturbing visions of 3 boys being stalked at a winter camp known as Alpine Lake. This is directed by Scott Derrickson. It stars Ethan Hawke, Mason Thames, Madeline McGraw, Miguel Mora, Jeremy Davies, Ariana Rivas, and many more. And for those who may not know, Scott Derrickson, he's come a long way since his first feature film. He directed Hellraiser Inferno, which was not a great straight-to-video Hellraiser film. Then he's done some really good horror movies, like Sinister. A lot of people say it's one of the scariest movies ever made. I think it's creepy. I wouldn't put it at the scariest. He also did Doctor Strange, came back Black Phone. Now we're back with Black Phone 2, and I loved the original Black Phone. I thought Ethan Hawke was fantastic. Everybody in the movie was fantastic. The grabber mask, I thought was awesome. I love how it was implemented in the movie, that it was kind of 2 halves of a mask, so he could change the bottom piece. Some scenes he wears just the mouth. I loved the mask. I loved the style of it. It's set in the 70s in Colorado. These kids are disappearing, and the style of it, Finn, played by Mason Thames, is taken, and he is in this basement, and this phone rings, and he answers it. And what I loved, the style where he was getting a phone call, but then these kids would show up like kind of behind him and stuff. He couldn't see them. You see them talking to him, and you just hear it like it's over the phone. Absolutely loved the movie. Thought it was creepy. Thought it was a really just a well done movie. So when they announced the Black Phone 2 was coming, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the first one, you know, when they announced the second one was coming, I was like, oh, how are they going to bring Ethan Hawke back? And I said I didn't watch any trailers to this aside from like a teaser to kind of get me excited. I didn't want to really know what the story was to this one or how this movie was going to go. I wanted to go in fairly blind because the original Black Phone, I went in pretty blind and it blew me away. This one, I wanted to go in just as blind. And I will say, I have watched it twice. The first time I watched it, I loved it, but then there were pieces that I don't want to say hated, I kind of hated them upon the second watch, because then I went back and I watched the original one and then watched the second one again. It hit better the second time around, and the pieces that I didn't like before worked for me this time. And I will say there are some pieces in this movie that I do want to kind of mention and talk about, so I may dive into the spoiler side of things, but I'll make sure that I let you know before I talk about those things that could or could not be spoilers if you don't want to know a ton about the story and how it goes. So this takes place, it's a few years after our original film. We go into the school and there's a fight. There's a kid beating up another kid, and it makes you think from the first movie, there was a kid, Robin, who was beating up like one of the bully kids, one of the tough kids, basically proving that, hey, don't fuck with me or anyone I say, don't mess with them, because he has Finn's back. They're really good friends. This one starts the same way. Finn is beating somebody up this time, and it's a new kid who had said something about, oh, you're the kid that beat the grabber. Are you really that tough? And he said, I just wanted to prove that I'm the guy. I'm that tough. So immediately when you go in, you're thinking, oh, we're kind of setting some things up similarly to the first film. You know, his sister Gwen is there, and then Miguel Mora plays Ernesto in this movie. He played Robin in the first movie, whose character dies, or he disappears and ends up, he is dead. In this one, he plays Ernesto, his older brother. But anyway, with this story, you know, Finn's having a tough time with what happens. The first movie was predominantly Finn's story. Most of the stuff is around him. He's the one that gets captured. He's the one that's in the basement. His sister, Gwen, is trying to find him, trying to figure out where he is. This movie is predominantly Gwen's story. She is the one who connects with the grabber. He's coming back, and Finn is on that other side trying to figure out what's happening to help her, everything else. So in this one, because in the first one, they set up that she has dreams and she sees things that happen. So we're going back to that first one. They're setting up that supernatural element of that side of things. In this one, we go a little deeper into her dream space. And when we go into the dream space, it is so freaking cool. I absolutely loved the style choices they used to go into the dream space. Anytime we went into Gwen's dream space, the movie would switch to like Super 8, like 8mm. And they shot it on 8mm to give you that full graininess to it. So you switch to that grainy 8mm, you can hear the sound of like a projector going. It's like this hum with the projector. Things are a little staticky. The colors, it shifts sometimes, and sometimes you get film burn. It looked so good. Anytime we went into that space, I'm like, I want to stay in this space because I love how this looks. There's some scenes, especially when they're at this camp. They all go out to this camp because Gwen has a dream about her mom and this camp. So they're like, oh, we can try to there's applications at this camp. We can go try to get a job, and we'll kind of try to Scooby-Doo figure some things out, investigate, see what's going on there. But when they're in this camp, there's some scenes where they go into where they're staying. And it has all the bunk beds, and it's kind of lit very darkly. You just see what I'm assuming are like heaters around this place because we're up in the mountains. This is 1982 where this is set. This is set in the 80s. 82, there was a giant blizzard in 82. People were snowed in, stuck. I have a whole story. I was snowed out somewhere for 36 hours. But anyway, these heaters, they have these coils that kind of zigzag back and forth all around, and they're glowing like an orange red. So it almost looks like neon light. And then these rooms are lit very dark, but it's kind of a blue hue. So it gives you almost that 80s neon look. You get a synth score in this. And then when you switch to the dream space where the colors are somewhat saturated, but then some just pop, it looked fucking amazing. At this point, I was like, this movie absolutely rules. My one gripe, this is where I'm going to get in maybe a bit of a spoiler here. The piece that I hated the first time I watched it, second time, I was like, okay, this works. This works for what you set up in the first one and what these characters are going through in this one, is the Nightmare on Elm Street side of it. That the grabber, Ethan Hawke, can get to her in her dreams. He has figured a way back. Unlike the first one where Finn answers the phone and he can talk to people who are dead, this one, she can connect to people who are dead in her dreams, but like the grabber can actually physically harm her and go after her in her dreams. Like there's a couple scenes that are straight out of Nightmare on Elm Street where she's getting flipped around, there's blood all over, spun and stuff like that. You're like, I was watching it going, this is Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm like, do I like this? Do I not like this? At the point I was like, there's a bit of me that kind of hates this. Going back, rewatching the first one and then coming back to this again, it worked because of what was set up previously. How else are you going to bring the grabber back? Are you just going to have him reincarnated? That would not work because in this world, the dead make a phone call on the black phone. Finn can talk to him there, which the grabber calls him on this phone that is out at this camp. And there's another scene where he's talking on the phone with kids, and you see those kids, just like in the first one, pop up kind of behind and hear him talking. And there's another time he's talking, the grabber's talking to him, and the grabber just pops up behind him. It is so cool. There's a scene where the grabber comes out, and we're in the dream space, so we're in that 8mm graininess. How he exits, he just slowly backs into the shadows. And I was like, this is creepy as shit and so damn good. Upon the first watch, it hit all it needed to for the most part on that. On the second time through, it worked on every level for me. It worked as a compliment to the first one. You find out some more story, especially with their mom and dad. You dive more into her dream space. He still gets some phone calls, and there's still that piece there too. There is one part they kind of dig into. It's more like a Nightmare on Elm Street 3 kind of thing, where she kind of has a power and takes over at that moment in the dream, where she like blows this phone booth apart with like a kinetic powers in a dreamscape. Still on the second watch, that piece of things didn't fully work. There are some other things that the grabber does that I'm not going to say that are pretty damn cool. If you liked the black phone and you really enjoyed it, I think you're going to love this one just the same, if not more. It expands upon the first story. It takes the characters to the next space of them. You know, how are they dealing with this situation that happened to them before? And how are we going to move them forward to try to put this darkness that happened to them behind them? It's happening to them again. Finn and Gwen's story has a nice little wrap-up piece with their parents. We're open for more Black Phone films. We could get a Black Phone 3, who knows? Gwen's powers are still there. She knows how to control some things. She can kind of see things before they happen as far as deaths and stuff like that. Black Phone 2, I gave it a 4 out of 5. It'll end up on the list at the end of the year. I don't know what place it'll end up because there's a lot of good horror movies that came out this year. go check out Black Phone 2. And my double feature for it, I'm not going to pair it with another one. If you want to pair it with a different movie, you can pair it with Sinister because there are some crossover with that. But watch these two back to back. That's what I did when I did my second watch through Black Phone 2. I watched them both back to back. It was a great compliment piece to get this whole story of these characters. That's the double feature I'm going to tell you. Just watch them both together. Well, there you go. Those are my thoughts on Black Phone. I hope I didn't spoil too much. I don't think I spoiled too much, honestly. There are still a lot of pieces that happen. There's some other characters, things happen, and stuff like that I didn't spoil. This movie has a fantastic soundtrack. The cinematography is great. The dream space, I want a whole movie in this dream space just because it looked so good. All right, enough of my ramblings. Let's wrap up the Black Phone 2. I'm just going to say go see it. Before I head out, I just want to tell you, bring home the all-new The Naked Gun on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. See Liam Neeson like never before as Frank Drebin Jr., as he leads Police Squad in this outrageous comedy, also starring iconic Pamela Anderson. By the film critics are calling one of the funniest movies in decades, and get nearly an hour of gut-busting extras, including deleted scenes, outtakes, and more. And this is available everywhere. And I will tell you, not all the jokes are in the trailer. That was what I was afraid of, that everything was going to be given away in the trailer. But yeah, go check out this movie. It is freaking hilarious. Well, that'll wrap things up for Tomb of Terrors. Just make sure that you subscribe to the show so you never miss anything I do over here, whether it is these short reviews, the interviews I do, all of the mini series I have going on, like Tales from Tubi that just finished up an awesome October, or my Versus series. I have one coming on Fright Night. My wife's coming back to do a Versus on the Fright Night original and remake, but make sure you subscribe and you will never miss any of those. I will be back soon with a brand new episode. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.